season for the Finn, a magnificent season for McLaren. There are their happy mechanics pouring out of the garage onto the pit lane to greet their man home. Constructors' Championship for McLaren, Drivers' Championship for Mika Häkkinen. Eddie Irvine still continuing to close, but the gap now of 11.5 seconds is, as I said, because Mika Häkkinen knows exactly what the score is and is taking it comparatively easy.
Yeah, it has to be said, Irvine's done a great job today. Always seems to be the bridesmaid, unfortunately, especially this year. But Eddie Irvine, yet another podium position, just 11 seconds off the lead, and really he's done everything Ferrari could have asked of him.
Mika Häkkinen and David Coulthard making it almost a clean sweep for McLaren, first and third. Here is the Flying Finn as he signs himself when you ask him for his autograph. Mika Häkkinen, the Flying Finn. He never spoke a truer word. Up to the 130R for the last time. Down to the chicane for the last time, down through the gears. The gearbox has seen him fine this time. Those were his only troubles he had in 1998, but not in the Japanese Grand Prix. Mika Häkkinen exits the chicane.
It's all downhill from here,
Murray. Going round the left-hander.
It's all downhill, he can cruise from here. He's got his hand in the air, take him over the line.
Mika Häkkinen literally goes downhill to victory. Look at the joy, the euphoria of the McLaren team on the left. And you are looking at the world champion of 1998. And a very worthy one as Eddie Irvine finishes second, a mere 6.4 seconds behind the race winner, Mika Häkkinen. David Coulthard finishes in third position, and 22 seconds behind Mika Häkkinen. So it's 14 points for McLaren in the Constructors' Championship. They only needed one to win it.
And that was a hot race, Murray. It was over 2.5 minutes faster than last year's dry race, although they were messing around at the beginning, so a very quick race too.
Mika Häkkinen, world champion, 14 points ahead of Michael Schumacher. David Coulthard retains his third position and Irvine his fourth place. Jacques Villeneuve, fifth in the World Championship that he won last year. And Damon Hill finishes in the top six for Jordan, which certainly didn't look possible earlier on in the season, because it's been a magnificent recovery. And
what's
look at
this?
Damon
What
Hill.
is this? Is
Damon
that Hill passing Frentzen for fourth place? Yes, I think it is.
Yes, it
so
is.
Hill's going to take fourth.
Well done, Damon Hill. And that, yes, at the very last moment, Damon Hill displaces Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Yes, Damon. He shakes his fist, not in victory, but in exultation. And the Williams then finish fifth and sixth and not fourth and sixth. And that means to say that Damon Hill finishes only 1 point behind Jacques Villeneuve in the Drivers' Championship. And Damon, who loves this Suzuka circuit so much, having won here twice, certainly put in a storming drive here this year. So just to recap, as you watch Mika Häkkinen on his victory lap in front of an enormous Japanese attendance, and he's very much their #1 man. They have a very special thing about Mika Häkkinen, and at one time he actually had 4 Japanese girls who followed him literally all around the world Grand Prix circuits. Well, there'll probably be more this year. There's Aria walking in. Irvine second. Mansour Ojeh, I see, the man who has done so much to help McLaren get into the position of dominance that they've had in the past and that they have regained this year. So McLaren win, Ferrari second, McLaren third, Jordan a superb fourth to end what has been by far their best year in Formula One since they began in 1991. The two Williams, fifth and sixth. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, his last drive for Williams, and Jacques Villeneuve, his last drive for Williams before joining the BAR team. Both finish in the points. And before the podium ceremony, we leave Suzuka for just a short time.
Right, and while ATV take a break, we'll continue because the celebrations here are going to be something special, AJ. I mean, it's been a while for McLaren. They had that long drought. They've waited a long time. And this one, I think there'll be a lot of people, particularly over in South Australia. The medical team, of course, worked at the Adelaide Grand Prix that really saved Mika Häkkinen's life. They would feel fantastic at the moment.
They certainly would, Daz, and so would Cole Higgins, because his son Roger is the race engineer responsible for Mika Häkkinen's engine, so there's an Aussie input there.
Yeah, and there's the flags flying. We said like a year ago you wouldn't have seen one of those flags around the Grand Prix circuit. Of course, the Finnish flag, they have been everywhere, and it's what we've talked about so many times. If we could get an Australian driver into Formula One, as we have Mick Doohan in the 500s, the amount of Australian flags that would be flying. This is great stuff. Here he is out of the car now. We'll ride with all this because this is the emotion of a man who's just won a world championship.
Bit of good sponsorship there. It would appear that Schumacher's actually waiting for Häkkinen to pull up to be one of the first people to congratulate him.
Well, I think it's been a great fight this year, and I think they've fought it pretty evenly too. There's been the moments in it. There's no doubt about it. Here he comes in now. But I mean, I think there's a mutual respect for these two. We've mentioned it quite a number of times when we've seen them on the podium together.
Yeah, I think of all the rivals, Mika and Mike. Yeah, I see, look, the congratulations.
Good moment.
That's great.
Yeah, good moment.
And a good drive from Eddie Irvine, I mean, in many respects, although I think at the end of the day, Ferrari will probably be a little bit disappointed. They've given him a light fuel load to put pressure on Mika, which he was unable to do. I mean, Mika did a blinding start and opened